Hello everyone, and welcome to our second episode of Bardtender, a show where I'm going to teach you how to make Dungeons & Dragons themed cocktails that feature on our D&D show Growing Campaigns. If you'd like to check out Growing Campaigns, you can Sundays, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Twitch. If you're not available Sundays, we'll release the VODs and audio files Monday morning on YouTube, Apple, and Google Podcasts. We'll put links to all of this below, and for a one-stop shop for all this information, you can actually go to our website, dutchmastergaming.com. So what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to break this up into two parts. First, I'm going to teach you how to make a Bloody Mary that we called the Blood of the Vine. And then I'm going to go a little bit into the lore of the village of Borovia, where you can find the Blood of the Vine Tavern and some of the NPCs you may encounter there. Laid out in front of me is all the ingredients and tools you'll need to make this cocktail. My favorite part about this cocktail is its versatility. Everything is to taste, so if you really like one of the ingredients I add a little more of it. Or if you don't like one of the ingredients, you can remove some. This gives you a very just wide range of different ways you can make this cocktail. So first I pulled out all my tools, which I have two different sized jiggers, which I use to portion out my liquids. I have a strainer for when I pour out of my cocktail shaker, and I have a lemon and lime squeezer here. So the first thing I did was I portioned out 4 ounces of tomato juice, which I'm going to add to my cocktail mixer. And then I'm going to add my seasonings. So in here, I have 1 teaspoon of white pepper, I have 1 teaspoon of dill, and a pinch of celery salt and a pinch of smoked paprika. I'm then going to add ½ ounce of olive brine. Now you can get this from your jar of olives, or I actually like to buy the container because it has a real nice, easy pour, nozzle to pour, I guess I should say. And then this is where that to taste really comes in. I have a full teaspoon of horseradish and a 1/4 teaspoon of garlic. So maybe garlic lovers out there want to add a little bit, or maybe you don't really like spicy and just opt out of the horseradish. But this is what I'm going to go ahead and add here. Now, again, a little more for taste. I'm going to add a few splashes of hot sauce. For mild to moderate, I would suggest between 2 and 4 splashes. I'm going to give mine more like 6 to 8 just because I like it spicy. And then I'm going to give it 2 dashes of Worcestershire sauce. Again, maybe you don't like Worcestershire, keep it out. Maybe you really like it, double it. I just like to reiterate that this is a very versatile drink and you can make it to taste in a bunch of different ways. So for my final steps here, I'm going to take a lime wedge and I'm going to just coat the outside of this rim. And for a little more flavor and spice, I'm going to give myself an Old Bay seasoning rim. I almost skipped a step here. At the very most, I would use a
1/8
lemon here for some fresh lemon juice added. Same thing with the lime, and always to taste. Top off with the most important ingredient, are 2 ounces of vodka. Or you could have stopped there and have yourself a mocktail. And now I'm going to shake this very well. Now there's a lot of ingredients, especially with all the spices, so make sure to really shake this on ice. Careful not to make a mess. Now your shaker's going to get cold, which means your lid's going to be fairly difficult to take off here. If I can at all. Here, I'll do the easy way. I have a lid here, so going to add ice to my drink. Man, it's stuck. So I'm gonna do it my easy way. It just takes a little more time. And there you have it. I'm going to go ahead and top it off with a little excessive garnish, but it's fun for me. So I actually have a celery, a pickle, pepperoncini, an olive, and then if you'd like, you can add a lime and lemon wedge as well. And with that, you can go ahead, take your first drink, take a little celery in the face, and cheers. So for the second part of this episode, I'm going to let you sit back, relax, enjoy your newly crafted cocktail, and listen to a little bit of lore about the village of Borovia. So the village of Borovia is enshrouded by fog, but can never leave the gaze of the oppressive vampire Strahd that lives in Castle Ravenloft, which looms over this town and oppresses them so much that they're afraid to leave their own homes. One of the only perks of the village of Borovia is the Blood of the Vine Tavern, where you can get some of the finest wine in any land, not just Borovia. Here, you can run into a bunch of different NPCs. Maybe there's a bartender that doesn't have much of a personality, and you finally figure out that some of the people here don't have personalities because they're lacking their soul. Or you run into a guard who's having a drink at the bar, and maybe one of your players wants to befriend a guard, or maybe a noblesman, just some NPC that you've put in front of them that they can gather information from. If the players really resonate with this NPC and maybe ask them to join, if your first level party finds a noblesman, when they level up to level 2, maybe that noblesman is hanging out with the fighter of the group and can actually become a guard. And the party can invest a little bit of money into the armor and upgrade this NPC. And furthermore, at 3rd level, maybe they practice a little more with weapons and become that challenge rating 3 veteran. Now at this point, you have probably a dynamic NPC which you've fleshed out, has his own personality, maybe he even names his weapon for flair. You're attached to this NPC, and maybe your party's really attached to this NPC too. But as they progress, 4th, 5th, 6th level, this veteran's going to have a very hard time contributing in combat and surviving. So what I like to do is I like to take these base stats that are based in the monster manual, and depending where they started, let them keep some of their benefits. Like if you start with a noblesman, let them keep parry, or when they become a veteran, give them all their multiple attacks. But when the party reaches 4th level, have that challenge rating 3 count as its first 3 levels, and then level 4, maybe they can take a point into a player class. For example, the cleric of this group has really just grown a liking to this guard. They spend their nights drinking together at the tavern. They talk about whatever religion or whatever part of the world that they worship. And now this NPC can have a point in, or 1 level in either cleric or druid to add a little dynamic into the group, and can also keep him around, or her. So depending on what your players want, if they like this NPC, it's a really fun way to keep long-lasting NPCs that you can develop. They can help the party, and you can also use to maybe create internal conflicts or push your story along, whether the party doesn't know where to go next or whatnot. But yeah, that's the fun way. I like to take very basic NPCs and just start leveling them up as they go with the party. With that, I'm going to conclude our 2nd episode. I hope you enjoy our Blood of the Vine Bloody Mary. I hope you enjoy this little tidbit I have at the end. And we'll see you next month.